Having me. Real pleasure to be here. Thanks for inviting me and including me in this event. I logged on a while ago, been following the last bunch of presentations, and just really great work that's being done by people in this network and this community, and really pleased to be here and be able to talk about my program a little bit and hear about what others are doing in this space. So it's late on a Friday. I'm sure you all have some Zoom fatigue from a long day and a long week. I'm going to keep my comments short. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about this program that you might be able to benefit from and tell you how to learn more about it and get back in touch with me if you want to learn more. So I will keep it short, and don't worry if I gloss over a few things. Ample opportunities for us to connect, and I'm going to tell you more about how to do that coming up here. So I am involved in running a program called the Innovation Core program, or ICOR for short, and it is funded by the National Science Foundation. All of those of you who are working on really interesting early stage research, early ideas around in this space, and thinking about the impact that you can have in society, and the last two presentations that we heard from were really relevant for this. This is a great program to understand the pathway that you can use to take really compelling, interesting research and innovations and ideas and lab work and turn it into societal impact. The program that we run here, funded by National Science Foundation, is built on a course that we call the Lean Launchpad course. I'm just going to give you a few very high-level comments for now. It was started by the National Science Foundation about 10 years ago, and at its core, it's entrepreneurial training for researchers. Our goal is to orient research projects like those of you who are here, technologists, researchers, students, faculty, and everything in between, entrepreneurs from the community as well, towards having societal impact and solving real world problems with your energy and your enthusiasm and your expertise and your inventions. Our goal is to improve the impact of the success that you have, increase the impact, and increase the odds of the success that you will have if you are able to go out and commercialize these inventions and technologies and research that you're doing. Now, the way we do that at a really high level, again, because this is, I spent years working on this and I'm trimming it down to a few minutes, but we have this concept of a business model. One way to conceptualize of it is this laboratory notebook that I have on the left, business model canvas, in this case, a value proposition canvas. Don't worry about the details. What's important is that we understand what the components of a business model are. A model is a representation of something. We're thinking about what will we look like when we get out in the real world and we have a business that is serving people, serving customers, delivering a service, delivering a product, capturing value. There are so many things that go into doing that right, that we want to build a model of it and understand what are those components, the people that we're helping, what are their priorities, their challenges, their pain points, how do they make decisions, what do they care about? And we develop hypotheses around that. And then we go out and we do this process called customer discovery to test those hypotheses, bringing your scientific method that you use in the lab and in your research to the business world. And so we know that most startups fail because of a lack of product market fit, not building something that people need in the market. So before we start to build something and execute, we dial it back to searching for that business model and really understanding in granular level of detail, what is the impact and the disruption we're going to have when we enter the market. Now, again, I work with researchers and technologists who are working with really compelling, interesting technologies and research and inventions where it's going to solve problems for people, it's going to have an impact. Things like the last couple of projects that we heard about, surgical tools, innovations that could help solve climate change and hunger, so many great ideas. Many of them do not succeed as startups because they don't understand the path to market and the specific commercialization path that they will need to do. So we take the hypotheses that are on the left side here, we go out and we test them on the right, and we do this in an iterative sprint over and over and over to continue to make refinements and learn from it. Real quick, how do we do this? We have a series of programs that we call ICOR. Here at University of Maryland, we have regional ICOR programs. There's programs like this in other places around the country. Here in Maryland, we have one on campus. I have one coming up soon I'll tell you about. They're usually 2 to 3 weeks courses, and they introduce you to this lean startup methodology. Once you've done a regional course like the one here in Maryland, NSF has a national ICOR course. It's a little longer, 7 weeks instead of 2 or 3. It's a little more intense. There's more rules about who's on the team and how you can get into it. And it comes with a $50,000 grant. Unfortunately, I don't have any money to give you in the regional course, but it is free. I'm funded by NSF to do it. This national program, which you can do after you do the regional course, comes with a $50,000 grant to go engage with all these stakeholders in your ecosystem, the decision makers, the users, people who influence it, partners, channels, all of them. You go talk to 100 of them, learn a lot about the ecosystem, build your network, and get a $50,000 grant from NSF. Many people do these programs as a precursor to some of the real popular seed funding and technology validation programs that are out there. Here in Maryland, we have TEDCO's MII program. Nationally, there's SBIR and STTR programs and many others. This is just a sampling of the kinds of programs that often follow on. This is the best money in the world for early stage technology startups. It's non-dilutive, it's a grant. You don't give up equity, you don't give up your IP, and you are able to get money to de-risk the technology, whereas ICOR helps you de-risk the market. Much, much greater chance of success if you go through these programs. You don't have to do ICOR to do these other programs, but the folks who run them strongly encourage you to do it, and it will increase your odds of getting those awards. There's regional ICOR programs all around the country. This is just a quick map showing you that there are many universities doing this kind of stuff. University of Maryland is one of the first universities to be a real leader in NSF's National ICOR Innovation Network. Here in the area, if you just look at the logos along the top here, University of Maryland leads a consortium of universities that we call the DC ICOR node. And we work very closely with George Washington University, Virginia Tech, and Johns Hopkins to deliver these programs that I'm talking about. If you look at some of the universities listed in the middle and on the right, on the bottom here, there's many other universities doing some variation of ICOR. And my job running this ICOR node is to support and collaborate with all of them. So I know my counterparts at these places. And if you're connected with one of these universities and what I'm talking about sounds interesting, please get in touch with me and I can connect you to them and figure out how we can support you. We really try to ignore barriers between states and between universities and work with all students and researchers and faculty and everybody in between who's interested in this kind of program. So real quick, the next opportunity to do regional ICOR is in April. The dates are right here on my website. There's the website. It's a 2-week course starting April 9th. Strongly encourage you to apply if what I'm talking about sounds interesting. I run an info session every month. I'm also happy to talk to you one-on-one anytime, but if you can come to these info sessions, they're great. We get people showing up, very casual, informal, asking questions about the program, meeting each other, and networking and talking about ICOR and how to get involved. And the next one is actually coming up real soon, this coming Wednesday at noon on March 3rd. It's just an hour. Again, it's informal. So drop into my website, icor@umd.edu, to learn more about it. You can sign up for the info session there if you want to hear more. Just a couple more things. I mentioned the National ICOR program. It comes with a $50,000 grant. It's offered every quarter. There's some going on right now. I'm actually teaching one right now. It's primarily designed for federally funded university researchers. If that's not you, but you're interested, come and meet with me anyway. You still might be eligible to do the regional program, if not the national one. And there might be ways for you to end up getting into the national program as well. Regardless, you should come and do the University of Maryland course if you're interested in it. And come and see me for more details. Final couple things. ICOR has grown very quickly and very aggressively. It started in 2011, as I mentioned at the beginning. The American Innovation and Competitiveness Act that passed about 4 or 5 years ago said that it would be the model for teaching innovation to researchers at all federally funded agencies. So the entire US government that funds R&D, Department of Defense, NASA, NIH, transportation, energy, on and on, USDA. All of them are adopting ICOR, looking at ICOR, sending their teams to NSF ICOR, or some combination thereof. It's a really quickly growing program, very successful, constantly evolving. There's my website once again, if you're interested. And I like to just, as a final comment, the folks who run this program, Sammy especially, just incredible advocates for innovation and entrepreneurship, and a great starting point for getting on the entrepreneurial journey. So please go to the innovate.umd.edu website. Sammy, thank you so much for having me. All of you, be grateful for having Sammy as a resource. He can connect you to all the different great programs, this one, mine, others, that we have here at UMD to support innovators and